Well, I promised one of my subscribers another college football prediction. So here it is. You have Miami taking on Texas A&M this season. Um, I get how, and actually I agree how fans are saying that Miami's going to be pretty good this year. Miami's already got a lot of talent at wide receiver, at running back, defense. They have the players. They just got to put it together. Mario Cristobal is a really good coach. He's an elite recruiter. He does a lot of things the right way when it comes to college football. He took Oregon where it was okay and made them an elite team again. They were a top 10, top 15 quality team with Mario Cristobal. Always. So they won a Rose Bowl with him. So yeah, I think Miami's going to be a really good football team. You know who I think is not going to be a really good football team? Texas A&M, or at least overrated. Speaking of A&M, Jimbo Fisher's got some drama going on with Nick Saban. Now back to the prediction. Let me get off topic. Can Miami go to Texas A&M and beat them? They can. Not. Look, the problem in this game is if you look at Miami versus the SEC the last few years, going back to 2018 when they played LSU, they lost to the Gators. And then they lost to Alabama last year, all for similar reasons. You know why? The big part of it is the line of scrimmage. LSU was too powerful up front for them to handle. Florida, that was part of the reason they lost. They also lost because they couldn't block up front. Again, line of scrimmage. Alabama, aside from coaching, they lost because of the line of scrimmage. That's a big part of it. It will be no different against Texas A&M. Now, look, they have the receivers, the running backs. They have all the other players to play with A&M, but they don't have an offensive line that I think is going to block Texas A&M defensively. You know, I don't think they can play with them in a line of scrimmage, and I don't think Miami's defensive line. Which, by the way, Miami's defense has not been good the last few years. They have the players, but they haven't been able to put it together. Even though Mario Cristobal is going to do a really good job his first year, I believe, I still don't think he's going to be able to make that much of an impact in 1 year for the defense to really play good. I think Miami's offense can put up points, but I don't think they'll be able to do it with Texas A&M. How are you going to do that with, even if Tyler Van Dyke, which is a legit quarterback, how are you going to be able to put up points when your offensive line cannot block? They're not going to be able to block Texas A&M's defense. Plain and simple, you know. Now, if they were able to do it, they can win this game anywhere, at home, away, in a neutral site, whatever. But it's not happening. I think A&M's defense will win this football game. I know they lost a lot of players, but Jimbo Fisher recruits good. Besides from the recruiting class that he purchased this past year, according to Nick Saban. So his defensive line has been pretty good these last few years anyway, so you know it's going to be good, if not better. So even if the, A&M's offense can't produce like I don't think is going to be able to, the defense will win this game. They're going to force Miami to too many field goals, a lot of 3-and-outs. If they do get in the red zone, they'll get field goals. They're going to force a few turnovers here and there maybe. I know Tyler Van Dyke's the real deal, but again, if you can't block for your quarterback, he reminds me of Francois from FSU. Great quarterback. Couldn't block for him, he couldn't do anything. If you block for him, he does well. But you couldn't tell because he never had that much protection there. So unless Miami plays a perfect game, doesn't turn the ball over, and A&M has at least 4 or 5 turnovers, and gives Miami good field position to capitalize off of that, I just don't see them winning this game. Talent-wise, they're a good team, but again, the line of scrimmage is probably the most, if not the most important, the second most important aspect of college football or any football game. Line of scrimmage, talent, and coaching. Okay? So, and defense. A&M's going to have a defense. Miami will not have a defense and the thing is, again, their defense has not been that good these last few years. Do you really expect me to believe it's going to be an elite defense? It'll be a better defense. It'll be an improved defense. It still won't be enough to stop a good offense. I think A&M's offense will be average, so that might not be a big deal. But again, A&M's going to be a better team. Line of scrimmage. That's pretty much it. If Miami can play with them up front, they can win this game. Because I think their offense will be pretty darn explosive. But the defense that Miami's had and the line of scrimmage, the battle in the trenches, goes in favor of A&M. You know, you're 0-3 against the SEC the last few years. Make it 0-4. Texas A&M wins this game. It won't be a blowout. It'll be a competitive game, you know. they'll be a more competitive team under Mario Cristobal. I think this loss will inspire them to make them believe, okay, we can play with tough teams like A&M. We can go and beat everybody else, which they can, But no, not week 2 or week 1, too early in the season. Nah, A&M wins 28 to maybe 20 at most.